Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
All right. Welcome, everyone. We will give it about 20 seconds as you sort of reset here before we get started. I will say thank you all for being here, and welcome, everyone, to the inaugural Pitch to the Pack Wells Fargo Textile Entrepreneurship Pitch event, hosted by the Wilson College of Textiles and generously made possible by the team at Wells Fargo. I'm Jeremy Wall, Wilson College of Textiles alumni, 2015, and I'm excited to be your MC tonight. It is an honor. I will also say I've pitched plenty in my day. It is much more fun to be on the MC end of the spectrum than that part. So today, I'm really excited. This is a celebration of creativity, of innovation, and the driving force of the textile industry here. And so as we talk about Pitch the Pack, Pitch to the Pack is supporting textile-focused entrepreneurs who are pushing the boundaries in cutting-edge technology, sustainability, and consumer-focused products. And so before we get into the pitches, I do have a little bit of sort of moment of acknowledgement of what made this incredible event and everything leading up to it possible. So to start, there were 35 entrepreneurs that registered and underwent a training process to prepare their pitches through the preliminary rounds. We have a group of preliminary judges, some of which you will see here today, and in the booklet that reviewed all of our submissions, helped get us down to the finalists of 12 that you will hear from tonight. Additionally, not in the booklet, I do want to take a moment to recognize all of the mentors, the coaches that helped in this process. Leading up to today, over the past few weeks, all of these finalists have gone under training and preparation, working through their decks, their business plans and pitches throughout the past few months. Additionally, most of the groups have had the opportunity to either create from scratch or refine their products and prototypes in the W. Duke Kimbrell Flex Factory. As someone who is sort of, again, left NC State and come back, I will say the Flex Factory is one of the most exciting initiatives and really is part of the celebration of what continues on after today as the finalists receive that as part of their winnings. So today, our finalists will present their business pitches. They will be a 5-minute pitch followed by 5 minutes of Q&A. We will have our judges here in the front, who I'll introduce in a second, giving that Q&A, and so at the end, you will see that we'll award our prizes. Those range from $1,000 all the way up to $10,000. The winning entrepreneurship team will be invited to participate in the Andrews Launch Accelerator. And through this, if you notice on your table or in your booklet when you got here today, if you do have a booklet, you will see some great names, faces, our judges, the bios there, but you also have a space to take some notes. We encourage you to do so throughout today as we work through the pitches. But before we get started, I want to make the acknowledgement that none of this would be possible without Wells Fargo. The vision, the belief, and the power of entrepreneurship and innovation, and really what that means, especially to these finalists, and their investment in this fantastic event. And again, everything that led up to today. There's a lot more behind the scenes that you are not experiencing. So thank you to Wells Fargo for your commitment to entrepreneurship. Thank you for your commitment and belief in innovation. And these finalists have had access to incredible resources, teams, mentors because of that. So thank you so much. Before we get started, if you are a Wells Fargo employee or associated with Wells Fargo, will you please stand to be recognized for a second? Thank you, thank you. So, before we jump into it, I'm gonna introduce a couple of people who will also say a few words, but I wanna give a quick anecdote on myself and why I care so much about today's event and why this is special to me. About a year ago, I was in this exact same position as the finalists you'll meet. I was a student at NC State College of Textiles. I had a passion for entrepreneurship, for innovation, and my senior project, which was at the time a little bit crazy, was stitching in lights, fabric, together to create wearable technologies. I got a $1,000 grant from the university to invest in this and to build these prototypes. I was able to use my senior showcase and the thread show to show this off. I had incredible mentors and the faculty. My mentor was Dr. Kate Annette Hitchcock, who made that possible for me. And in this process, not only was it an investment from the financial, but it was the support. That this kooky idea that you could create more safe bike clothing was something that everyone said, follow, push it, keep going. And that was a decade ago. To see the investment that has continued on and just grown so exponentially from where we were in 2015, which that senior project became a company, I grew that for 7 years. It took me out to the West Coast. In 2020, I came back to North Carolina. And this is home for me. I grew up here. My wife and baby, who you will see coming through the door, hopefully they don't cry, they will be coming here soon, but also NC entrepreneurs. And that's what I love about NC State. Specifically, as we get into today's competition, the College of Textiles. And I am so delighted and pleased to introduce our dean because it is this investment in innovation, technology, entrepreneurship that is driving this college forward and making it a world-class institution. So with that, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce Dr. Dean Hinks, Dean of the Wilson College of Textiles and Cone Mills Distinguished Professor. Thank you.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. I really appreciate you emceeing for us today. I remember you as a student. We have more than 11,000 alumni at NC State, and we cherish every one of them. And I think about that journey that you just described often, and it's great to see you back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited for this event, this inaugural event. It's one of the things that we in the college have wanted to see come to fruition actually for quite a number of years. Over the last 10 years in particular, we've seen entrepreneurs sort of bubbling up within the college, but also across NC State that have ideas about textiles and textile-based products that then come to the college for some kind of support. So this is something that is really exciting for me personally, and I know everybody in the Wilson College family. This past fall, we celebrated 125 years of textiles education, research, and innovation at NC State. No other college in the Western world can claim that distinction. Our mission is to support the US and global textiles industry, and we take that really seriously. It's a vibrant US textile supply chain is absolutely critical to our homeland security. And if you cast your mind back to the pandemic when we had all the shortages of masks, you know why it's critical to our homeland security. It's from producing those masks during a pandemic to design and manufacture firefighter turnout gear that not only saves the lives of the firefighters, it allows those first responders to protect and to save the lives of all of us. That same applies for the textiles for the military, and I could go on and on. A vibrant textiles industry is also creates demands for our graduates, so it's a synergistic relationship between the college and the industry. It's in our interest to help the industry be successful. The continuous recruitment and nurturing of talent is arguably the most important activity of any company or institution. It's all about the talent. At NC State, our #1 goal is to recruit and develop future talent and in a think and do a way to enable people from all walks of life to transform their own lives and in turn enable them to transform our society for the better. One of the most impactful outcomes of NC State, in my view, is our unique ability to translate applied research and ideas into impactful commercial products and services. There are few universities as successful as NC State at doing that. We are ranked in the top 5 of all metrics of innovation nationwide for a university. For instance, we lead the nation in licensing of products coming out of the NC State ecosystem. And Wilson College is an especially strong driver in powering these metrics of patent startup companies and licensors, and in collaboration with all of the colleges at NC State. We have Dean Buckles here with us from the Poole College of Management that has incredible entrepreneurship program, and our students and our staff and faculty benefit from what PCOM is doing in this space very significantly. The entrepreneurship that I've witnessed in the last 10 years has been dynamic and truly remarkable. We have first year's students today entering our doors that already have an ongoing startup company. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, when I think about when I went to college, the last thing that was on my mind was starting a company. And I would have been completely intimidated. We must nurture this entrepreneurship at NC State for the benefit of our textiles industry and our entire society. When we approached Parkdale Mills and the Kimbrell Foundation with our vision for the Flex Factory, we shared a vision of collaborative space where students across NC State, regardless of major, as well as all staff and faculty across NC State, could partner with us to develop textile-based innovation. The W. Duke Kimbrell Flex Factory, as it's now named, will be a space not just for students, but for all of the NC State community. And it will foster entrepreneurship that will further elevate NC State into what I believe is a realistic vision of a university community that is the global leader in innovation and entrepreneurship. I think that's absolutely in our reach. I'm confident that our inaugural Wells Fargo pitch to the pack will be a key driver in achieving that impact. The Wells Fargo pitch to the pack will also enable Wilson College to achieve its vision of a compassionate world in which textiles enhance quality of life and sustainability for all. That's our vision. Thank you again for coming here today. I'm confident that you're going to see some innovations that we will see in our marketplace in the future. Thank you also to everyone who has been a part of the planning of this event, both in person and virtually. There are many. If you have participated in any capacity, could you please stand up? That's applicants, pre-pitch judges, judges today, mentors, pitch instructors, parents, families. Stand up. Thank you. Thank you. I also recognize and thank our North Carolina Textile Foundation. Incorporated in 1942, the mission of the NCTF is to advance the Wilson College of Textiles at NC State through engagement, partnership, and philanthropy. Thank you to all the board members for your support, and the ones that are here today. I think Nancy Webster is here, president of the North Carolina Textile Foundation, Rick Elmore, a past president, and we've got some others as well. I think Charles Heilig and George Ragsdale. Thanks also to the fantastic NCTF staff led by our executive director, Michael Ward, and I think most of them are here today. Finally, I'm so grateful to Wells Fargo for making this a reality. Thank you. We are really appreciative of your trust in us. Susie Kuntz for seeing this vision and endorsing it, and your team, thank you so much. Thank you also to Wells Fargo's Jay Everett, 1986 grad. I've dated you there a little bit, Jay, from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Thanks for coming back to campus and sharing more with us today. As I mentioned, Jay's a 1986 CHAS graduate, received a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science, Law, Politics, and Philosophy. While on campus, Jay was elected as student body president. That's a big deal. As president, he shepherded in positive changes that will benefit our students today, that still benefit our students today, and hosted sitting President Ronald Reagan. I'm sure there's some amazing stories there. Wells Fargo supports nonprofits across the country with over $350 million in philanthropic support annually. That's a remarkable commitment. Thank you again for your support. All right, now I'm going to pass over to Jay, who's going to say a few words.
The only thing between the pitch and moving this forward is a few minutes with me, and I'll go quickly. On behalf of Wells Fargo, it really is a pleasure and an honor to be here today and be part of this program. I work with the Wells Fargo Foundation, and I work with great people within the foundation like Susie Kuntz, who identified this opportunity in this particular market. As noted, we annually give on average about $350 million to nonprofits around the country. And we have particular focus areas, and small business happens to be one of those. We understand the power that small businesses have to drive our economy. And so we make investments in programs that a lot of times help small business owners that are on a trajectory. To be really honest with you, we tend to, through the foundation, invest more in what we call growth-ready small businesses. They have been out there, they have been operating for a period of time, they're bringing in revenue, they're hiring employees. But we also know that on the spectrum, those small businesses started somewhere. And so in phase one, you have to be open to the fact that there needs to be innovation, that there needs to be a space for people to try, and sometimes for businesses to fail. A lot of our funding has also gone to some interesting areas before, because while we're a financial services company and we love banking clients and we love working in the community, there are some small businesses, quite frankly, that don't meet our credit profile if you were to walk into a Wells Fargo branch. And so our foundation tries to step in, and we work with groups called Community Development Finance Institutions, CDFIs, and they have different lending standards, and they can actually provide quicker funding and access to capital for small business owners than a lot of more institutionalized financial companies and services and firms can. We're really proud of that work, and over the past now 4 years, we have actually funded over $400 million into CDFI funds that go to small businesses that are starting and growing, and we're very proud of that work. So I would close out today by saying, enjoy the pitches, have fun with it. If you're pitching, remember that sometimes businesses that don't get an initial immediate start do eventually grow. My partner is in the space of financing and banking, but also is an individual investor. And one of his favorite stories is when he was many years younger, out in California meeting with a potential business in which to invest. And he met with a gentleman named Joe, and they were in a warehouse, and there was a folding table and folding chairs, and they talked about its business model and that type of thing. And many, many years later, my partner's really happy to say he knows Trader Joe. And so it starts somewhere, and it can grow. And then sometimes it grows big, and sometimes it doesn't, but the journey is part of the fun. The final thing I would say is it's great to be back on campus as a graduate of North Carolina State University. I was graduated way back in 1986. It was an exciting time to be on campus. And also another kind of full circle story, honored to be in this space and place today. I got to serve on the board of trustees with Roy Park. And so, incredible gentleman. I actually was able to travel to Ithaca, New York, and learn more about his company, because while I did major in humanities and social sciences and focused in political science philosophy, I also studied in speech communications and thought I was going to go into the news business. And so because of his connection to the world of media, he actually had me up to his company and kind of took me under his wing. So that notion of mentorship to help build somebody's future, the role that mentorship plays in entrepreneurship, is also something that's not lost on Wells Fargo today. Finally, thanks to our Wells Fargo folks that are here today to serve on the panel and bring in their subject matter expertise to the table. And we're just honored to be part of everything that's happening here today and part of this inaugural event. So thank you very much. Let's get the pitches started.
All right, so today you are going to hear 12 incredible pitches, but it's not a cakewalk. We have a panel of esteemed judges, as I mentioned earlier, and before we get into it, I do want to take a quick second to acknowledge our judges that come from different backgrounds. They come from venture, finance, media, academia, and across the startup spectrum. So it is my pleasure to introduce our 5 judges today. I'm going to read from the script today to make sure I get it right. First, Carmen May Lucas, Regional Banking Senior Manager for Wells Fargo, has been with Wells Fargo for 20 years and has a passion for coaching and developing leaders. Next, Prashant Prabhu, Wilson College of Textiles alumni, worked with McMullen for over 30 years in research and development, is on the NCTF, North Carolina Textile Foundation, board, and is an angel fund investor as well. Tom Rue, CEO of NC Idea, which seeks to strengthen the economy of North Carolina through grants and programs to help people achieve their entrepreneurial potential. He is also the board chair of the NSF Textile Engine. Stephen Satterfield spent his career redefining food and beverage. As a means of organizing and activating an education, he is the founder of Whetstone Media and Hone, which are media and culinary management companies. He may also be familiar, as you have seen him on the Netflix series and 2 times host of High on the Hog. He is 2 times NCAA and Peabody Award-winning docuseries High on the Hog. Thank you, Stephen. And last but not least, Julie Hampton, Business Development Officer for Triangle East Commercial Bank at Wells Fargo, She has been in Raleigh for over 20 years and practiced law as a litigator before this role. And in meeting her, I am trying to recruit her daughter to come join us here at the Wilson College of Textiles. All right, before we get into it, the most important judge is you. As you will see in your pitch booklets, we do have 4 Audience Choice Awards today. Best Speaker, Most Innovative, Most Sustainable, and Best Value Added. I want to make a quick note that we will have 9 different awards, so not going to stack up all on one company, so make sure to take notes as we go through today on all the companies, writing down any favorite takeaways, because at the end of today, we will pop a QR code up here. For those watching on the live stream, we'll put it in the chat as well for you to vote on your Audience Choice Award. So again, thank you to those who are joining us virtually. Last note before we get into our first pitch. On your table, you will see contact cards. So if you really love one of these pitches and you want to follow up, if you write down your information, put it in one of those envelopes in the contact card, our fantastic team will connect you directly to these amazing founders and teams in the future. So that's one great way to close the loop if you don't get a chance to shake a hand and meet them in person today. And with that, I'm excited and delighted to introduce our pitches. Our first finalist today is Slowcraft. They say, good things take time and great things are made by hand. Our next presenter is bringing back the lost art of slow crafting, turning thrifted textiles into beautifully functional pieces and creating community all along the way. Get ready to be woven into a world of creativity with Cynthia McMullen.
Can you hear me? When can I start over? Okay. Hi, I'm Cynthia McMullen, the founder of Slowcraft. We're here to help you unplug, unwind, and unlock creativity. How many people in the past year have done something creative with their hands? Painting, drawing, woodworking, pottery? Anyone? Me too. That's awesome. Sometimes we need a creative outlet, but we lose our inspiration, our time, and our space. Within our challenging COVID world, we're so busy. We have so many things distracting us, our social isolation from using our phones too much, our well-being and not enough self-care, as well as our environment is changing because of fast fashion. We've thrown away 81 pounds of clothing a year per person. But Slowcraft has a solution. We're offering a 2-hour crafting workshop where customers can use their hands in beginner-friendly ways to relax and socialize. We are a pop-up model, so we are working with businesses right now, coffee shops, breweries, restaurants, and we are helping our customers go somewhere that is familiar to them. We are using upcycled materials. We're not using raw materials, new materials. We are providing upcycling to a new audience. Our market analysis has shown us that people are prioritizing experiences over possessions. Our customers are adults, seniors, and parents and teens. We are looking forward to date nights, girls' night out, and family and teen bonding. Our competition is wide. We are noticing online platforms as well as standalone single retailers that are teaching other crafts. However, Slowcraft is a competitive price, a variety of crafts to do, and we provide all the materials. We're offering our services at multiple locations. Our go-to-market strategy is utilizing cross-promotions within other businesses. They have communities who are already visiting them, breweries, restaurants, and bars, but they need people on the slow nights, so we're able to get to their businesses. Our customers come into a place that's familiar to them. There's event flyers, there's social media where we're both promoting the events, and then our calendars are all adjusted so they can see Slowcraft events. Our secondary channels are private events, like bachelorette parties, corporate team building, and we'll eventually have a take-home kit with a subscription model. Our long-term goal is a national franchise. Our current workshops include upcycling for home decor, weaving samplers where we're repurposing wallpaper samples. Imagine what those interior designers are doing at the end of each season with those sample books. I don't know about you, but they could definitely donate them to me. And embroidery and mending. We're utilizing simple stitches, colorful threads to help extend the life of our garments and use vintage postcards to enhance our memories. Oops, sorry, oops. Okay, our prices are kept low because we are utilizing donations as well as thrifting our materials. Within 2024, we launched Slowcraft. October through December was our proof of concept. We raised over $1,000 in revenue and had over 20 people who were happy with making projects using their hands. In 2025, we would like to host 50 workshops in our community. And in 2026 is where we'll be scaling a lot higher. We will be hiring a part-time instructor to help us capitalize on multiple venues on the same night, like a slow Tuesday night at a bar. We will also be doing private events more. And with finances, as an entrepreneur, you also need passion. I am a passionate textile material developer. I have been in the fashion industry for 20 years. With that, I grew up learning to sew from my mom and my grandmother, and I've always been making with my hands. I learned to use materials and resources mindfully because my dad grew up during the Depression. So with that experience and knowledge, I have founded Slowcraft. Slowcraft is driving sustainable change within our communities right now. We are collaborating with businesses, and it's a win-win to bring people in the doors. We are enhancing social connections between our businesses, our local community, and our customers. They are having a space where they can connect with their friends and disconnect from devices. Thank you. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Okay. I'll try to speak into the mic so that the audience can hear too. So would I be correct in assuming your entire revenue stream is based upon services? Or are there any product branded opportunities to generate revenue as well? In other words, do your kids have like maybe given looms or threads and needles so?
Yeah. So currently, it is based on our workshops and selling a service, but as of 2026 is when we'll be launching our kits, so that will be a secondary revenue stream for us.
Okay. Great job.
Thank you.
I'm curious how you reconcile the big picture vision for franchising with the products and kind of third spaces that you're using to scale it up.
So currently, franchising is like a long-term goal. I have to make sure that I can make money, and right now my margin's healthy. But I want to focus on regions, so like Northeast, Southeast, the West Coast, and be able to franchise that way. But the pop-up model is so we can introduce businesses together. So if there's a restaurant or a brewery that has a chain that's slow on a Monday night, we can work together to build up Slowcraft and those communities.
Or anything like that, just continuing to leverage the third spaces or partner spaces?
I think currently with my thought process in building this business, retail is not on my mind because of the cost included in how to generate revenue to pay for the rent.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious, where are you getting like your fabrics and such? It sounds like, is it donations and sort of how you're going about that, as well as how you're going about getting the instructors? Like, is that volunteer or kind of? Yeah,
so right now I have a lot of donations. I have hoarded material for 20 years through the fashion industry. We throw away a lot of samples. But as well, I have been purchasing materials from thrift stores because they're available, and I would hopefully like to work with larger brands and get donations from them, so fabric mills, brands that need to get rid of their sample books. And then with the instructors, I will have a rubric and a system that people will follow, and I will be hiring them. I don't want volunteers, I want to have paid employees. Hi.
How do you market Slowcraft to those third spaces?
So right now, I've been reaching out with cold emails and introducing myself and my concept, and I've been able to align with businesses that have a slow Wednesday night in their thinking February. So that's how I've been able to test my concept in October through December. I mean, not February, but you know what I mean.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Great work. You can pass that right off to her. All right, I will make a quick note to continue to take notes in your booklets, as we will have those audience choice awards as well. Next up, question. What if we could fight climate change with fabric? It isn't sci-fi, it's our next presenter, and they're making it a reality with groundbreaking way to turn textiles into CO2 filtering powerhouses, introducing Sonja Salmon, here to show us how fabrics can help fix the planet.
We got a lot of excited speakers back there in the green room. They told me to come and work up the crowd. Woohoo! Right? Like you got to cheer us on here, folks. This is pretty stressful. All right. All right, and I gotta see what I'm looking at here. Okie doke. I can go, right? All right. Yeah. So textiles make great filters. What if textiles could remove greenhouse gases? My name is Sonja Salmon. I'm an associate professor in the Wilson College of Textiles here at NC State University, and I founded Trellis Eco Technologies to move the biocatalytic textiles that we've developed in the lab out into the world, because these filters are really great at capturing carbon dioxide, and that's what the world needs. Why? Because 2024 was the warmest year on record. That's historical record. That's every record ever in history. So the planet is warming. That's due to greenhouse gases. We have to control that. The little arrow there is when I was working in industry and learned about this problem and started working on it. Me and a bunch of other people trying in different ways to solve this problem. So back at that time, 20 years ago, it was an extra hard problem to solve because there wasn't even a price on carbon. Now it's better. There are voluntary carbon markets, and there are also incentives to reduce emissions. But we have a gap. Emissions are actually increasing because power consumption is increasing. If you look at where that pointer is pointing, that little gap between the black and the blue line, if there was a solution for that today, it would be worth more than $18 billion in the US alone. So yes, we need energy efficiency. We definitely need renewable fuels, but we also need carbon capture and storage. But the issue with carbon capture and storage, it needs to be easier and more efficient. That's where Trellis technology comes in. So we are combining textiles, enzymes, and liquids into a special kind of wet filter that selectively reacts with carbon dioxide, turning it into bicarbonate and removing it from the gas. We've actually done a lot of lab testing. Here's an example on the right side of the screen showing that our textile modules are capable of capturing gas for long periods of time. This was a 1,000-hour test. Once we trap the bicarbonate, you need to do something with it. And so we think actually that this is a really good way to turn carbon dioxide into rock. So our textile filters speed up a natural reaction. They make it happen much, much faster than on geological time. And so we can take a CO2 gas and turn it into limestone. Compared to the competition, our technology is versatile. It works for both high and low gas streams. That means like the air you're breathing right now and the air coming off of a power plant. It uses sustainable materials, enzymes, textiles. We use cotton, for example. And the enzymes in particular allow us to use safe, abundant liquids like seawater. Additionally, that limestone example I just gave you, that process would eliminate a costly process step, so we could save money that way too. In looking at the market, this is a massive, massive market. There's close to 40 billion tons of CO2 going up into the air every year. When we look into the market, there's a sweet spot for us in direct air capture, and we think that's an ideal match for our trellis technology. Once we get rolling for revenue, we will be out-licensing the technology. We have filed patents, and we will also have services to support that as part of our business model. Right now, we need to scale up, so we are applying for government funding. We're actually in the process of writing up an STTR right now, phase 1. And there are a number of business areas that we could enter with small-scale projects. We are a new company, but we are a determined team with combined more than 75 years of technology and commercialization experience, and we stand on the shoulders of a very supportive ecosystem. So I would like to offer to you that textiles protect us, our bodies, and they can also protect our home. Trellis's biocatalytic textiles are a faster, safer solution for carbon dioxide removal. Thank you.
What happens to the carbonated textile after it has captured the carbon dioxide?
Okay, so the question, what happens to the carbonated textile? So the textile is literally a wet filter. So the gas, here is one, I'm wearing it. The gas will go through this wetted filter, and the carbon dioxide will get trapped in the liquid that is flowing through this filter. So the liquid passes through the filter, the filter is stationary. And that's why I say you need to do something with the liquid afterwards. So you take the carbon in the liquid and turn it into limestone. Great question, thank you.
Can you explain basically how are you going to make money? I mean, is it retail, home filtration? Is it commercial? Is it like yet to be determined as you see where you're going to have industrial adoption of the technology, considering the offsets, like we got to get rid of the fluid and...
Yeah, so there actually are a number of ways that you could make money off of this. There are incentives like the 45Q tax credit, which pays you money for every ton of CO2 that you don't emit, so that would be one way. The materials that I just described making the limestone, there could potentially be, you could make architectural products out of that. They wouldn't be load-bearing, but perhaps climate-minded people would be interested in facing their homes with carbon that came out of the air, would be another way. And then there are other types of applications like in renewable fuels, biogas upgrading. Actually, that would be a great opportunity for the state of North Carolina in order to convert biogas, which is methane and CO2, to methane that you can put in a pipeline. You need to remove the CO2, and our technology works at those very high 40% inlet gas concentrations too. So the value there is the value of the methane that you've purified.
Would those applications be contingent upon the fibers used? I mean, synthetic fibers would probably limit what you could do or be allowed to put into certain
so the question about what kind of material we would fabricate from. Well, we've used cotton because cotton is a plant that also by photosynthesis takes CO2 out of the air. So that fits with our value proposition. We want to use sustainable materials that will also remove carbon dioxide. And in the end, once these filters, I mean, they won't last forever, but we can compost them at the end, and they'll be nutrients for the soil.
Sorry, I think my question's going to be kind of a stupid one. I'm just curious, how this actually works in an application, like in a, let's say, factory or something. Where does the actual fabric live for the filtration process to happen?
Okay, so the question is kind of how does it actually look in an application? I do have a small display over at the corner table over here. If you get a chance later on, you can swing by there. But basically, you would make, it would look like a filter module. Think about actually the particle filter that you have in your furnace at home. Now that's a dry filter, but it would be in some kind of chamber that you would have this filter, and you would be pumping the liquid through, and that liquid would go, for example, to a settling tank, and you would settle out the solids, and then you would come and pick up the solids and move them around. You would want to locate this close to, if you're using seawater, close to the coastline. We have a lot of coastline, and close to possibly biomass combustion facilities where you can get some of the byproducts of that process would feed the chemical needs for this.
Are going to be needed, like in terms of the capture or conversion into limestone? Is the product sort of contingent upon all of those other stakeholders being involved too?
Yeah, there's a big value chain that has to come together, and I guess that's where I pitch the experience level of our team. Our members are used to working with collaborative partnerships with large companies who have done this kind of thing. And so, for example, we're going to be making a trip down to the National Carbon Capture Center here in March to talk to them about doing a field test there, and that will bring credibility to our application.
Thank you.
All right. Whether it's weddings or festivals, Samsara is here to make South Asian fashion accessible and stylish. Let's welcome Jessica Ardeshana. Thank you.
3 million women in the US still wear plastic in their skirts and poorly fitted blouses. As immigrants from India, we have firsthand, my mom and I have firsthand experienced these problems in South Asian clothing. We color skirts, lehengas, and long shawl that we wrap around our body or sari. We love dressing fancy for Indian weddings and festivals, but it's
Can I actually grab that? I'm just switching.
yeah, I
mic
was
real quick.
confused about that.
With you. There you go. Thank
Should
you.
I start again?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll restart the time. Please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you can hear me now, right? That's perfect.
There we are.
Three million women in the US still wear plastic in their skirts and poorly fitted blouses. As Indian immigrants, my mom and I have first-hand experienced these challenges in South Asian clothing. We like to call our skirts lehengas and long shawls that we wrap around our body a sari. We love dressing fancy for Indian weddings and festivals, but it's unfortunate that these outfits are the most uncomfortable pieces of clothing you can ever wear. Let me explain. So, my mom and I started a South Asian clothing brand called Samsara and had this realization from our youngest customers. We had a girls dance group that approached to us for lehengas, but the problem was that two girls with the same size, small size, had completely different body proportions. Most vendors that they went to had standard-sized pieces that they would tailor into their size. But this often sacrificed comfortability and fit. So we offered them customized pieces in their exact size. However, we've realized that fit is the #1 pain point in South Asian clothing. Actually, 70% of our customers in our survey agree to this. And not just this, there are many more problems in South Asian clothing. 85% of our customers felt South Asian clothing is overpriced for its usability in the US. That's why we designed our Dohari collection. South Asian wear that's repurposable, size adjustable, and functional. First in our collection is the Navrang lehenga. This can be worn as the traditional lehenga or can be worn as a two-piece top and skirt set. The jewelry will be inbuilt to the dupatta, so no need of spending extra. The blouse was inspired by a corset, allowing for an adjustable fit with removable cups, while the lehenga will come with removable plastic netting. Second in our collection is the Dwaya sari. It can be worn as a pencil skirt and a top, or a sari that can be hooked onto the skirt. Pre-pleat it, saving 15 minutes of your time hand pleating a sari. The blouse will feature an elastic in the back for a flexible fit, while the skirt will be made from stretchable lycra silk. But you might be wondering, are these pieces even truly innovative? In the market, the biggest competitors charge a premium for fashion, yet customers only end up wearing these outfits a couple of times, and making the cost per wear increase. And there are cheaper options like small boutiques or Etsy sellers, but they usually have to alter mass-produced pieces to your size or just lack comfortability. That's why we designed our repurposable outfits that offer a long-term value for South Asians living in the US and are designed with customizable features. My mom and I are from Surat, known as the textile capital of India, and we have a natural eye for quality fabrics. Our current business model involves sourcing designer wear from trusted manufacturers in India. Customers look for our outfits on social media, they visit our boutique, and I tailor them to their exact size. This has earned us more than $10,000 in sales and more than 100 happy customers, but only in North Carolina. The South Asian clothing market in 2023 in the US was a $4 billion market. Imagine what we can do with e-commerce. But the problem is that South Asians hesitate shopping online because they fear fit issues. And that's why we designed our collection specifically to address these pain points. In our new business model, we want to create social media content that addresses these pain points and shows our unique features. We have already started posting on social media about our designs and getting customer feedback to refine them. Next, we are going to start creating our prototypes. In August, we'll launch our collection on our website, right when the Indian shopping season begins. And we'll be featuring both Indian and Western styles on our website, as well as have a sales model that has made-to-order sales, as well as a stock inventory. We are seeking funding, 20% of which will be used for making stock inventory for our collection, 80% of which will be used, 20% of which will be used to create prototypes to perfectly fit and manufacture, 80% of which will be used to create stock inventory for our collection, as well as do paid social media marketing. We are projecting a $50K in sales year-end 2025, all of which will be reinvested. The gross profit on the Navrang Lenga is a $220, while on the Dwaya Sari is a $180. We are Samsara, and we are redesigning South Asian traditionals for the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And beautiful clothes, too. Thank you. I have a question about the scalability as it relates to the customization of the fits. How are you planning on reconciling that?
Right. So the business is pretty scalable because our manufacturer makes 100 pieces in 40 days. So we can keep a stock inventory and just sell on that. Based on your other point, which is how are we going to customize the fit, the pieces were actually designed for a customized fit, which is if you purchase a small size or a medium size, both of them, if it's a corset blouse, both of them can fit you because you can adjust the drawstring in the back for the fit. Yeah, exactly. And then the other piece will have an elastic. So a small size and a medium size can wear any of those two sizes, as a large size and an XL size can wear any of those two sizes.
Are you familiar with any competition, locally or otherwise, that's also targeting this?
Right, so I did mention a little bit about that. Our major competition is Kalki Fashion. I wanted to talk about this. Kalki Fashion is actually an Indian-based brand. They're selling in the US as well as like all around the world. And there's other brands as well who are Indian brands that they sell like in the US. But I believe, like with this brand, what I've discovered is that the problems that US South Asian women face are much different from what people want in India. In India, people prioritize fashion and people prioritize trends because there's a lot of competitors and you can shop from any. So you're looking for the best piece and the best quality. But here, people just wear it like twice or thrice a year, and they're more so looking for like a classic outfit and they're looking for something that can just adjust the fit if you were to grow a size larger next year.
Curious about the, I guess, e-commerce. You're looking to do this. I think you mentioned like Instagram and some of that. Like, kind of like, how do you see that? I mean, you've had some sales right to date. So has that all been like via Instagram and social media, or are you looking to try and set something up? Just curious as to what your thoughts are on that.
Yes, so all of it has been through organic social media marketing. I film, edit, and post videos. This is my full-time job on the weekends, and my mom's full-time job, if she's here, is to do sales on the weekend. Since I post all the social media content on Instagram and Facebook, we don't really pay anything for CAC, customer acquisition costs. My mom eventually does repost some of these content on her Indian ladies group, in the starting, most of our sales were actually coming from there. Most of our sales looked like a daughter and a mother that would come to us because we were recognized as a Gen Z South Asian clothing brand. Initially, our business model was, like, our purpose of the business was more so delivering modern pieces and trendy designs. But then we realized that that is not really the problem in the US.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, as we are now 1/3 of the way through our pitches, take notes as we do have the 4 audience choice awards: best speaker, most innovative, most sustainable, and best value added. All right, so for our next presenter, imagine if your garments carried their own history, but without a flimsy label. Our next presenter is making textile traceability seamless and sustainable. Get ready to decode the future of fashion with Brian Iezzi. Thank you, Brian.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian Iezzi. I'm the founder of Fibracore. We're trying to create the thread that is red. So my journey starts with a conversation with my brother. He's the head of production at Amber Cycle. It's a textile recycling startup. About 4 years ago, we were hanging out during the pandemic, and he was telling me about a problem they had. People were sending them a lot of clothing. They're trying to figure out what's inside of them. This is not a problem just for him. Everyone who's trying to recycle or resell clothing right now, they need information. And a lot of that information is not included on the textile or apparel item when it gets to them because people cut it out 40 to 50%. So through the NSF I-Core program, we did over 150 interviews all across the stakeholder supply chain, trying to figure out what is this main problem. And like I mentioned, it's the data. So what we're trying to do with Fibracore is actually embed that information directly into the fabric or directly into the garment in a non-removable manner. And then you should be able to scan it and get that data as quickly as possible so you can make the decision that you need to make when you need to make it. So what we do is we manufacture a fiber that has a unique optical signature built in, and then that is then woven, knit directly into a fabric or integrated at the garment stage that then allows for life cycle tracing. And then at the end of use, you can also use it for sortation, identifying what's the MSRP for this, what's the fiber content, did it use dyes or finishes that might be disruptive to our recycling process. All that information can be embedded. The technology was developed when I was a PhD student at the University of Michigan with the MIT Lincoln Laboratory. This is what it looks like. We also have a table out there if you want to take a closer look later. I'll be around. And then, yeah, we've recently signed an exclusive license with the University of Michigan and MIT to pursue this globally. Really the focus for us is building a ecosystem where the brands and manufacturers have that information and the recyclers and the resellers need that information, and we think we can be the link. And we've built essentially the start of this through the stakeholder ecosystem you see here, including recently a letter of support from a large outdoor brand. We're focusing on brands who are already thinking about resale in the circularity space because they're going to be the ones who pull this through their supply chains. So they're the ones say, okay, if I need to be able to sort things more efficiently in my own resale centers, I can invest in this, and then I'll be able to have that on the end. As you guys know, in the textile industry, the labels themselves are very low cost, so we're selling those about at margin, and we believe that the data that this will provide post-consumer, which is currently a black box, would help greatly, would be something that brands and the ecosystem would be interested and willing to pay for. So far, we've raised about $700,000 in non-dilutive funding from the federal government as well as several state grants up in Michigan. And we're using that right now to create an MVP. So over the next 2 years, we're building something that we're going to be trying to pilot with companies, whether that's fabric manufacturers, whether it's brands. And then by 2027, we're aiming to raise a seed round to start selling that MVP that we create, and then grow to 31 million by 2029. The focus for us is getting to a price point that is cost comparable with normal labels currently. So aiming for about 5 cents COGS and about 10 cents revenue per label. The Fibracore team right now, on the business side, it's mostly me. I have awesome 2 professors at the University of Michigan who are helping both on the data analysis side, figuring out how to get the information out of the fiber, as well as creating the materials that we're getting feedback from brands that they're looking for. And then the advisors on the bottom are helping us at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, which is where a lot of that funding that we recently received is where we're doing a lot of development work right now. So yeah, we're looking for a pilot right now with a brand or a manufacturer who'd be interested in seeing if this could be a solution that would help them. And we're really focusing, we think there's a lot of benefit for the incoming DPP, Digital Product Passport legislation in Europe, as well as the EPR legislation in California. That's gonna require a lot of, the brands are gonna have to have a lot of this data post-consumer that they currently really don't have a solution for. And the other solutions on the market, such as like RFID, are pretty expensive. And from interactions with people who have done some diligent testing on these, they actually have some durability issues as well. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be around, and obviously right now as well. Thank you so much.
Can you talk more about the scanner technology that's involved and, nuance, how much is required to scan and
Yep, yeah, so the fiber itself has, in the cross-section, is what you're scanning, so you actually don't need a huge amount of area to be able to scan. When I was first working on this, we were thinking about putting it all the way through the fabric, and if you had like an automated line, potentially it could pick it up wherever it was. The scanner itself could be like an automated system. We also have a handheld system out at the table that is about $1,000 or so. It's Bluetooth enabled, and so then you would scan that and it would kind of populate the information directly on your phone, whatever information that you needed. So essentially, like when we manufacture the fiber, it's blank. When it needs to be coded at the manufacturing step is when the information gets added.
Thank you.
Yep.
Can you describe a little more how you provide information to the fiber from which you will then read it afterwards?
Yep, so there's 2 ways. When I first started working on this, we were trying to actually, as you might know, that every molecule has a chemical signature. What we've done is we've engineered a physical signature in the spectrum on top of that, which is much stronger. And using that spectrum, when I was first starting to work on this, we actually were trying to create a binary. So you actually could directly encode data with the spectrum. That's one method. Obviously, there's like a limit to the amount of data that you can encode that way, but there could be use cases for that. The flip side of that is that we believe that we can create many, many, many unique identities. And then if you have a unique identity, a physical identity, that can be then attached to a digital record. And then that could have as much data as you want. And it is also updatable, which we've gotten feedback from customers that that's really important because obviously things change and you like, all right, this color changed, like we need to update this later. So long term, I think it's going to go more in that direction. Yeah.
And it survives the entire lifetime of the fiber?
Yeah, that's what I think is the most exciting part about this is that how we manufacture this is pretty similar to how normal textile fibers are manufactured, and the other solutions on the market, they're trying to squeeze something into a form factor that doesn't necessarily fit. Yeah.
And can it be retrofit onto existing manufacturing lines?
So what we have at the moment is you could think of it like a yarn. So if you have a creel set up already, you could throw ours into that creel. We're also working, this is in the works, is figuring out a way to make it a little more pliable, to use it more like a stitching thread. And then you could add it at the garment stage.
I'm curious about the market size that you referenced. I think you said like 31 million by 2029 or something. Can you say a little bit more about how you determine the addressable market size and then just what you think is driving that opportunity?
That's a great question. Yeah, so for the market side of things, I use the ThreadUp database. So ThreadUp has a list of all the companies that have started their own resale programs. Obviously, some have been around longer than others, and most of them are pretty small right now. But there's about like 150 or so brands that are already on that database. And then I did the math essentially on average, how many items are those brands putting on the market per season, and then did some math on the cost of a label that they would be buying. Obviously, the brand itself usually doesn't buy the label. The garment manufacturer buys it, and then it's the complete cost. But the data side of this, like the data management platform that I was talking about, we're figuring out like what that market would actually look like, because it doesn't really exist right now for post-consumer. Yeah, I don't know if that answers that question. Thank you.
Did you know that organic food waste could change our fabric industry? Our next innovator is turning seaweed and citrus peels into high-performance, fire-retardant fibers that are also eco-friendly and packed with superpowers. Please give a warm welcome to Hitesh Manglani.
Hey everyone, welcome to the future of apparel. At Supercarb, we make one of the most advanced textile fibers in the market. My name is Hitesh Manglani. I am the CEO and founder of Supercarb. I am a research affiliate at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab with 8 years of experience in nuclear, automotive, textiles, robotics, and food. I'm joined by principal scientist Andrew, who's a principal chemist with 5 years of experience at leading California startups like Beyond Meat and Simulate. Our advisors include Ning Sun, who's a staff scientist at the National Lab, and Jill Foos, who's Activate Director for Berkeley, our DOE Fellowship, and Sean Wheeler, who's a Stanford DCI Fellow. The issue we are solving is that there are 2.39 million tons of fire retardants used worldwide. These fire retardants have severe impact on human health. They cause cancer and bioaccumulate in human organisms and plants. And not only that, they also have a very poor wash durability. The way we solve this problem is we make breakthrough textile fibers using food waste. Our fibers are made using seaweed and citrus peel. They don't melt or drip, and they self-extinguish themselves. The innovation behind the fiber is that we take feedstocks like seaweed and citrus peels and extract polymers out of them using catalytic reactors. We then use wet spinning technology to create fibers that are then converted into yarns and fabrics. Our IP include the chemistry behind the fiber, the manufacturing method, the dyeability, and so in certain cases, end application blend. Our minimum viable product is a 1.6 denier fiber that has been converted into a 21 singles yarn with a 50-50 cotton and supercarb blend. Actually, the photo that you see on the right-hand side is one of our first pilot with a leading North American children's sleepwear brand. And not only are we fire retardant, we are also infinitely tunable. It's an anti-static fiber with an 8 seconds half-life and an antimicrobial efficacy of 99%, and has a moisture-wicking properties measured using GATS instrument. So we're bringing these high-performance fibers. We have a limited oxygen index, which determines an ability of a material to extinguish fire. It has at 34%, even higher than the leading industrial fibers like Kevlar and Nomex from DuPont. We are doing this at a low cost of $6 a pound. That is twice as cheap at monoacrylic and 10 to 20 times cheaper than Kevlar and Nomex. So we have a competitive performance to cost ratio advantage. And not only are we high performing and low cost, we're also sustainable. We consume 38 times less water than cotton and have a footprint of 1.2 kg carbon dioxide from cradle to factory. So the global FR market is predominantly dominated by aramids, monoacrylic, FR viscose, polyesters, and FRT cotton. That accounts for around $13 billion in TAM. And just focusing on protective apparel market in Europe and North America gives us a SAM of $3.8 billion. We project a SOM of $520 million with 90 customers, an average order size of 433 tons. Our go-to-market strategy has 5 phases. So we are at phase, I would say we're mostly on the left-hand side. We have developed a minimum viable product. We have generated IP and have initial prototypes. Phase 1 begins with problem identification, followed by a feasibility study. This feasibility study then goes into a MOU or a JDA with a full garment trials. This is followed by offtake agreements for demo plants, and then finally mature fiber prices with multi-year agreements. Our current application traction includes children's sleepwear and workwear apparel. We have had 30+ customer intent, have sent samples to 10+ brands, and have done pilot with 1. And not only that, we are going to enter military uniforms, firefighter gears, automotive interiors, and aerospace interiors in the future. Our time to market is in 2032 with a commercial plant. Currently, we are at a minimum viable product and scaling up our wet spinning process to 10 liters, and will validate at 100 liters at a CRO. Our pilot would be at 1,000 liters, which is around 76.8 kgs per hour, followed by a demo plant in 2028, and a commercial plant with a capacity of 16,000 tons in 2023. So let's change the future of apparel with scientists on mission. Thank you.
What is the estimated capital cost of a scaled line for this fiber?
Right. So the capital cost, so recently Lenzing did a $400 million investment at 100,000 ton capacity. So we are projecting a 16.98 thousand tons per year. So that's going to involve a capital cost around $45 million.
Did I hear correctly that you were expecting to do about $500 million of revenue with 90 customers?
Correct.
Okay, just checking. Thank you.
Are margins contingent upon it being for specifically the fire retardant market, or could this eventually get to a price point where it's competitive, which is general?
So that's a very good question. So if you look at organic cotton prices, it's around like $2 a pound. So our prices at commercial costs would have to drop by 3x to reach those kind of solutions. That being said, we think that we can penetrate higher end margin in sportswear because we have, antimicrobial properties and moisture wicking properties. And in fact, we are actually working with certain brands in the market right now. And, fire retardancy market is a bit conservative, moves slow, and sportswear moves fast. So we are actually intending to penetrate other markets as well.
I had a question about the actual technology. Do I understand that you're working on that this year? Like, you're putting it together, that's part of the 2025 plan? Is that, okay.
Correct. So we are at a 1 liter scale. We just invested in newer equipments that would allow us to go to 10 liter scale. So this year, we actually going to improve our capacity to a kg to 5 kgs an hour, depending upon how much volume that we can spin continuously, because currently it's a batch process.
Have you done any durability testing on the yarn?
Yes, we have done durability testing on the yarns. We have done AATCC wash testing methods. We have been through 5 to 10 laundry process, and we are actually currently working with Gaston College to give a 50 laundry test process in our next stage.
Cool, thanks.
You can take it ready. All right, that puts us at the halfway mark of our pitches. We are going to take a very brief, please keep it under 5 minutes, very quick, bio break, take the time, step out, come back and join us. We'll wrangle you back up in 5 minutes to continue. All right, thank you. All right, all right. If we can start to take our seats, we will go on to the next pitches in just a few seconds. Yeah, give him a little ding on that. All right, everyone. Thank you. So, at this point, we are halfway through our pitches. I will remind you once again, take your notes down as we are halfway through in those Audience Choice Awards. So, our next presenters are taking cargo security to the next level with smart straps that measure tension in real time. Because no one likes a shifting load, buckle up for an exciting pitch from Ethan Hill. He will then be joined on stage by Gunashekar. Do you have your mic and clicker?
What an entry. Okay, 3. Hello, everyone. My name is Ethan Hill. At NarrowSense, we're redefining cargo load management with our smart straps, which provide visualization into a cargo's load as you're driving. Imagine driving down I-40, surrounded by trucks with shifted loads. Next thing you know, a cargo load shifts and an accident occurs. This is responsible for over 17,000 injuries and 730 deaths in the United States alone. Despite the trucking industry spending over $10 billion in safety annually, there is no real reliable strain sensing solution for cargo management. Our solution is a strain sensing strap with sensors embedded throughout the textile. With our solution, we have straps connected to a central Bluetooth device, which connects to the user's device. While the user is using their app, we have 3 essential value add-ons. 1, we have load sensing while the driver is driving, and we also have 2, abrupt movement changes, so alerts for those. And then finally, in the future, we plan to integrate AI and machine learning for our sensor readings in order to get a good grasp on how our straps have our livelihood of our straps. Concerning the market for our straps, we estimate the market is about $451 million, this is tie downs, and expected to grow to $600 million by 2030. Concerning our market, we have about 10.3 million Class 1 through 7 trucks, which are in the trades, use about 4 straps. And then we have about 4.1 million trucks, such as flatbeds, that use 15 to 30 straps. We estimate about 112 million straps are used per year. Each strap has a lifespan of about 6 months. Our goal is to get 1% market penetration by 2027, by 2029. So what is our business model? Well, we plan to target mainly direct fleet operators rather than fighting at the retail floor. Concerning reducing costs for product development and raw materials, we plan to work with an OEM and enhance our partnership we have right now to further reduce costs for our PCB and our other electronic systems. So, how much does our strap cost? Well, the typical 2-inch wide by 27-foot long strap costs about $25. Ours cost about $35 to $40. We estimate the strain sensing edition adds about a 10 to 15% value add-on, with our software component costing about $50 per user, per truck, per year. And in order to get this working, we have a $40,000 to $80,000 requirement for software development with an annual upkeep cost of $15,000 to $20,000. What we estimate to reduce these costs is by working with NC State or integrating our platform directly into existing fleet management software. So, how do we make a profit? Well, we estimate with 1% market penetration, 1.12 million straps, we see about $40 to $50 million in revenue, and this is estimating the unit cost of $35 to $40. $30 to $35 million in cost of goods sold, with a total profit of $10 to $15 million per year. Concerning our timeline and profit, cumulative profit over time, we have a two-phase development cycle. First, we have development phase 1, where we generate excitement, work with manufacturers, and make sure in NC State that we have our straps developed. After year 2, we develop our first straps and sell it to the market. Over the next few years, we plan to increase our market by going overseas and increasing the total profit we have, with totally, by the end of 2029, releasing Smart Sets, which is integrating AI and machine learning with our sensor readings to have a life cycle analysis of our straps. So, why NeuroSense? Well, we have Guna, Dr. Luan, and me. Guna is a materials expert with durability analysis. Kun is a strain sensor subject matter expert, and I am an integration expert, putting everything together. Together, we have a first-to-market product with a cost-effective solution and planning for autonomous vehicle integration in the future. That's a market we didn't include in this. With NeuroSense, we're not just selling safety, we're selling peace of mind. Join us in revolutionizing cargo management.
Can you describe the strain sensor that you have integrated into the strap?
We use analog circuitry in which as our material decreases in cross-sectional diameter and strain, that increases the sensor value. So if there's an abrupt increase, you will see a sudden load shift.
And how does it get integrated into the fiber or the yarn?
Through the very center of the tubular structure.
We integrate that during manufacturing process. To be specific, it is like stuffer.
Can you explain the subscription model and what the impetus might be for the customer there?
So without the software, the user does not have access to the visualization part of our software. They can still see the load in our software, but once they pay $50 a year, they can see a visual kind of motif of your device and how your device is changing load with advanced load monitoring alerts. So that's one thing too. The alerts integrated with the AI and machine learning in the future, that's going to be kind of part of our $50 add-on.
So let me see if I get this right. That's real-time tracking. So I'm on a 1,200-mile long haul. I've had a lot of stops and goes, a lot of torque on my straps. Over time, in real time, I'll know, like, hey, you've got shifting loads, your straps have been compromised.
From what we've seen in our testing, if we see a sudden change in the movement, there is going to be a big % change in the sensor reading. So that is what we see. In terms of our lifespan of the actual strap, we use a battery that can last about 2 days with the current consumption of our materials.
So with that being said, do you see a play like in a regulatory environment, like an NTSB designation, that all, long-haul trucking needs to have something like that? And if so, I don't even know if they do SBIRs or STTR funding, but if they do, is that something you're looking into?
Absolutely.
I'm curious, is there anything kind of that would compete with this that's not a strap, right? I mean, certainly I understand the logistics of why the strap would work. I just didn't know if there's anything within like the truck bodies or anything else that's kind of on the horizon.
Yes, in our initial patent search, we found that a lot of these strain sensors are integrated in the actual ratchet system. Ours is integrated in the textile system because we wanted to have the feeling of the entire strap rather than keeping it there. We did see a recent patent where one is attached on the actual surface, where that's more of a pressure sensor. So that is pretty interesting in that space.
Have y'all been in dialogue with any potential customers and garnered any feedback around the solution that y'all are providing?
Yes. Well, we've talked to people that have worked in transport, specifically in tie-down, at least for facilities. We talked to someone that has had prior experience in some rather rigorous fields of that. What we found is that they actually suggested if we had a tie-down strap that had that communicated with each other and told us different types of values, and told us, okay, how much do you have to tie this to get that balance with each strap? And we've also talked to people, our regular users, such as those that, the class 1 through 7 trucks, your standard trade that use about 2 straps per year, maybe replace them twice. What they've said is that that might not be our market necessarily. It's more or less targeting more of the private fleet operators, the ones where that value add-on of safety is worth that extra cost.
Thank you.
How many straps are on an average truck?
For flatbed trucks, there's about 15 to 30, and we expect them to be replaced about 4 times per year. The biggest thing is if you see abrasion on the edges of the straps, that's when you immediately replace them.
There is a standard. There is a standard that on open bed trucks, we must have like 2 straps per piece.
Thank you.
You can pass that right to with the clicker. What if we could utilize bodies of water to do so much more while simultaneously producing useful resources? Our next presenter uses floating plant bioscaffolds to turn nutrient pollution into something valuable. Putting the fab in fabulous innovation, welcome Reid Barnett.
So, let me know when you're ready for me to go. Awesome. So my name is Reid Barnett. I am the founder and CEO of Ceretune, LLC, and we are in the business of turning pollution into possibility. The problem that we're looking to solve is massive. Nutrient pollution is listed as one of the engineering grand challenges of the 21st century, one of the greatest challenges facing our species today. And it costs the global economy, okay, it's up there, about $3.4 trillion a year. So, pretty penny. That breaks down for different industries such as tourism, real estate, water treatment, and algal blooms, and fisheries. And it's seen nowhere more poignantly than in the algal blooms that choke our coastal waters every year, seemingly. They're so large they can be seen from space, and so disgusting that they can be smelled from miles away, especially the dead fish. This is a big problem, but to solve a problem, you have to know where to start. And I want to start somewhere a little bit closer to home. See, I was raised on a hog farm in eastern North Carolina, one of the almost 3,400, and it seems like a perfect place to start. In North Carolina, we raise about 9.7 million hogs per year. That produces about 10 billion gallons of waste. In counties like Samson and Duplin, that's more hog waste than human, and it's not treated in the same way. It's pumped onto hay fields where it leaches down into groundwater, runs off into rivers, lakes, streams, eventually people's drinking water potentially. And it contributes massively to our problems with nutrient pollution. North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, and they've been backing us, they're in support of us at least, and we felt like this was a great place to implement our solution. The fibrous aquatic bioscaffold. It is a buoyant, non-woven fabric that goes out on a body of water as plant. As the plants grow, they pull per acre about 44 tons of carbon, 1,200 kilograms of nitrogen, and 200 kilograms of phosphorus. And it scales quite well, actually. It costs about $600 an acre to manufacture, produce, install, and remove. And the generated value, as of right now, is about $4,500 worth of carbon credits and biomass. So we can not only remove massive amounts of pollution, but do so at no cost to our initial customer, like the farmer. Just looking at the carbon part of our market, the global market, $79 billion. If we were just capitalizing on hog farms in the United States, that's about 792 million. About 15% of that market we felt was a feasible market for us to capture at about 118 million. Our competitors, if you'd like to call them that, it's not even close. It's night and day. We are less than 1% the cost over the full lifespan of the product. We're the only one that works in hog farms. We're the only one that has no maintenance fees. And we're the only ones that allow for massive amounts of biomass to actually convert pollution into something valuable instead of just trying to pick it up and move it somewhere else. Yeah. Our market strategy is simple. We're not finding customers, we're finding partners. We partner with farmers, with potentially governments and other landowners to agree to share revenue by using their pollution and their water along with our product, green credits and biomass, which we then can sell. We then install our material over their waterway, grow our plants, and then remove it and sell it off. So, pretty simple. Right now, carbon credits look to make up about 90% of our revenue. We look to be losing about $270,000 that first month, but our transportation and revenue sharing. But in the first year, we looked at a net profit of about $8.5 million and only going up from there. Our team is so far myself, my PhD advisor, Dr. Bradford, who's with us in the audience. Dr. Farr and the Non-Woven Institute has been an excited partner with manufacturing. The Wilson College of Textiles has been here every step of the way, and the North Carolina Plant Sciences Initiative has recently added Ceretune LLC as the newest company to the Seed to Grow program as of last week. This is how we plan to take one of the largest problems facing our environment and turn one of the greatest opportunities. Thank y'all. Any questions?
Thank you for that. I have a question just about the actual fabric itself. Can you say more of what it's made of and exactly like how that actually works?
Absolutely. It's we're working on it right now, but it's fiber spun bond polylactic acid PBS non-woven. So we use a spun bond process. We can make a hollow fiber so that it's incredibly buoyant even after it's been growing algae, grass for a very long period of time. It's incredibly buoyant, it's very strong, and breaks down naturally in industrial composting settings.
Anything specific about the plants that you grow that consume the nitrogen and the...
Every plant in existence consumes nitrogen and phosphorus. They hold about 3 to 4% of their mass will be nitrogen, depending on the species. For what we're growing, we want to focus on hydrophytic plants, so plants that can control the amount of water entering and exiting their body. Rice is a very easy example that we use a lot. We've also looked at other native plants that are native wetland plants, or something we've looked at as well.
So I have a question. I actually grew up on a hog farm too, so I'm familiar with exactly what you're talking about and sort of like lagoon situation and all of that. And so I'm just envisioning this, and I'm trying to understand can you just sort of take me through? I know it's
Yes.
it's elementary, but take me through the process of obviously there's this material, you put it out over, and you're able to grow
Absolutely. So it's a very, very thin fabric. We cover the entirety of the lagoon. It's still permeable, so it still allows for air and water to go through. You also increase the amount of water that's being removed through transpiration, but it doesn't impact the farm or the operation any other way. They can still pump off of it. They're actually encouraged to. And everything else stays exactly the same. We don't interact with however the farmer is running their operation. We're just adding extra value for them and hopefully putting more money in their pocket at the end of the day while preventing phosphorus buildup in their soils, especially.
Did you say it throws off phosphorus as a byproduct?
No, it pulls it in. It takes in phosphorus, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Technically, anything that can bioaccumulate in a plant can be removed. So things like PFAS and other complicated pollutants, and there's no off-putting anything.
So it's basically a pool cover you put over the slurry pond. Stuff starts growing on it. For how long can it,
Yes.
before you have to pull that one out and put a new one out?
It'll last for 6 months to a year, but we're also looking to see at what point are we starting to plateau with the amount of bio. So that might be 3 months, 2 months, but it can last for a year easily. And it works in just about any environment, not just for lagoons. It can be integrated into lakes, rivers, streams, estuaries, anywhere. Anywhere that has enough water to float in.
Good afternoon. Given the sustainability impacts, like the positive impacts there, have you all researched any grants that could help fund this?
Yes. So right now we're looking at SBIR funding as kind of the main. We are open to other opportunities. We can try to take it slow, work with the problem.
Can the non-woven be reused?
No, it cannot be reused. But the way it's designed, materials can actually be processed along with the biomass. So we pull the entire thing out, mulch it, and it can be turned into compost, fertilizer, biofuel. We're actually in talks with a company who wants to put our material in just about every river from Pakistan to South China for conversion into biofuel. But yeah, whatever you want to make it out of, and it breaks down very easily. That is a very good question. So since we're treating with the water, the main cost there is actually in their pumping. So it's the labor that they're using there. We wouldn't necessarily save much time on that per se. The real place where we're looking at is in reducing the amount of field space that they need for their nutrient plan, as well as extending the longevity of that. There is also some research we're looking into about seeing if we reduce the concentration in the water, can we redissolve that sludge back into the water, which might also prevent them from having to pump quite as often. We're seeing if that's the case, but that's something we're definitely looking into.
I think we would all agree that a good night's sleep should never just be a luxury. Our next presenter has designed a garment that transforms into a portable bed, offering comfort and dignity to those who need it most. Let's rest our attention on this incredible idea from Adeline Griffin. I believe the clicker is on the podium.
Do you want to be cool, but also stay warm? Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear jackets. Jackets that turn into sleeping bags. Hi, I'm Adeline Griffin, founder and CEO of Adeline & Company, a fashion design, model mentoring, and fashion styling business that was founded in 2021. I'm also a sophomore here at State and a Centennial Scholar at the Wilson College of Textiles. I'm excited to pitch my product, Rest for the Weary. Over 650,000 individuals in America each night struggle with a good night's rest. What if a transformative garment not only changed their night, but also changed their lives? Rest for the Weary is a dual-purpose garment. It's from a jacket it turns into a jacket and into a sleeping bag. It's portable, lightweight, weatherproof, and waterproof. Additionally, it has a removable and inflatable pillow in the hood. We also have a buy one, fun one model that we will discuss later in the pitch. With an $8.6 billion target market, Rest for the Weary aims to target a $36 million margin, with our market segments being $36 million. With the market segments being nature enthusiasts and charitable consumers. A few contributors towards the social impact are geared towards the northern parts of America, such as the Empowerment Plan and Shelter Suit. However, their designs are bulky and heavyweight, while Rest for the Weary also has a design perfect for hiking and camping, while also giving shelter and peace for the homeless. Additionally, we are publicly sales funded, while the Empowerment Plan and Shelter Suit are a nonprofit and they're donation and grant based. In May of 2025, we will begin customer outreach and begin a small batch inventory. In June of 2025, our first units will be shipped out, through an online market. In March of 2026, we will be expecting a profit and will begin to distribute jackets to those who need it most. In May of 2026, we will begin to forecast our profits for that year, as well as review customer feedback. Customers will purchase our product. From our sales revenue, 25% of that profit from each jacket will be donated to fund another jacket. The impact is simple but impactful, to give shelter and rest to those who need it most. Our Buy One, Fund One model not only ensures a stable growth, but also a measurable impact. With 25% of our profit from each jacket going towards a jacket, we will be able to help people who need it, like the people from the LA fires and Hurricane Helene victims. Additionally, further down the road, we also would like to partner with nonprofits such as Samaritan's Red Purse and American Red Cross, as well as Salvation Army. With 7,000 individuals being homeless in the Triangle alone, we also want to partner with local organizations. One that's close and hits home is Rice and Beans. With a jacket costing $275, after labor and costs, we will make a gross profit of $170. Our year-round revenue is targeted to be around $40,700, and then after a gross profit of $24,000. After a lovely thing called taxes, which I know everybody in this room loves, we will have a net profit of around $19,800. Rest for the Weary is not just a jacket. It's not just a sleeping bag, and it's not just both. It's a lifeline that can fit into your closet. Partnering together, we can make a true social impact for those who need it most in our community. Targeting the issue right at its solution, Rest for the Weary aims to provide shelter, give hope, and give peace to those who need it most. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to make sure that I understand the business model. Is this sort of like a luxury brand that also has a different obvious use case, so sort of like Tom's or something, or like that? So in other words, if I wanted to support this, the same garment that I would be wearing, I might also see on an unhoused person. Is that?
Yes.
I'm just asking.
No, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
So it's a great question that you asked. And we'll also have we'll have different color variations as well, not only for people to purchase, but also for a homeless person to wear. So you might see a camo variation, you might see a dark green. Over there's my black variation. To answer your question about the luxury brand, I wouldn't call myself luxury because if you go into the Cameron Village and you go into the great outdoor shopping area, you find jackets that are priced well over $200 that are just windbreakers. They don't have any other function. And they're 100% profit. While my business model is to give back to those who need it. Thank you for that question.
Do your financial projections include labor? Like, are you paying yourself as you look? You know, it's a classic mistake that a lot of founders do very early on when they build out their models, and you can work for free while you're in school, but that changes once you get out.
Great question. So I actually am paying myself during this, but in the beginning stages, say until May, my production will be solely on me. And then if I win Pitch to the Pack, I'd like to partner with, a strategic partnership with Industries for the Blind. There is a location in Greensboro, North Carolina, and these phenomenal people who are blind. I mean, they make products from pins all the way to full garments. So I'd like to partner with them as well later down the road.
You can incorporate as a B Corp?
Probably an LLC, but I'll look into the B Corp.
I noticed the name of the brand it rings towards a personal brand as well. Are there other kinds of extensions in your product line or kind of adjacent offerings that you're thinking of?
Great question. So right now, probably the jacket at the moment, and then later down the road, I'm probably going to think of how to make a more impactful giving towards nonprofits, as well as a bigger impact and outreach towards people who are experiencing homelessness, victims of Hurricane Helene who are still living in tents at the moment, and victims of the LA fires. But for right now, we are solely focusing on this jacket.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the jacket available for children as well?
As of right now, no, ma'am, but that is a great question. This is actually for adults as of right now, but we will have a prototype later down the road that'll be geared towards children, because in America alone, children under 16 is 8% margin. Yes, ma'am. Oh, and to also go on with your question, our large jacket right there is one fits most. So, for example, I've had a model who is around 6 foot try on the garment and it fit him, and I've had myself try on the garment, fits me well. So it's for both men and women. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. With that, I will also point out for many of the pitches that do have physical prototypes that have been developed through the W. Duke Kimbrell Flex Factory, you can see some of these prototypes throughout the room. So again, check those out as we get into our break after today. All right. What if we could skip cutting and sewing and weave clothing directly into shape? No waste, no scraps, just seamless perfection. Our next presenter is revolutionizing garment manufacturing with 3D weaving. Give it up for Jeanine Fry.
Thank you for the introduction. I am CEO and technology co-inventor of Loom 3D. Apparel is one of the top global polluters, and every year, the apparel industry produces 13 million tons of textile waste just in production. Working for over a decade in the industry gave me firsthand insight into these issues, which is what led me here to research solutions. This production textile waste comes from the inefficiencies of traditional cut and sew methods. 25% of fabric used in apparel production becomes off-cut waste, a loss worth $10 billion every year. On top of that, these inefficiencies have also led manufacturers to require high order minimums and long lead times. This has caused 30% of apparel produced to go unsold, a value worth $210 billion every year. On the other hand, by implementing innovative solutions, you can take yarn and shape it directly into the form of a finished garment. This eliminates off-cut waste and alleviates overproduction. Introducing Loom 3D. We offer a process for 3D weaving seamless apparel. Think 3D printing for clothing, but the best part is that it implements existing weaving machines. Our prototype here shows a sampling of different design features. We are currently incorporating pockets for our introductory line of denim jeans, which will be sold B2B. We're also developing a software to streamline the design process, allowing us to simply expand into other garment segments. The value we offer is twofold. We eliminate the cost from waste, and we improve sustainability by eliminating the waste, reducing production times by 6 to 10 weeks, enabling made-to-order or just-in-time production, which reduces overproduction. The global apparel industry is valued at $2 trillion, and woven apparel makes up about half of it. Our intro market, denim jeans, is valued at $100 billion, which we've chosen because it is one of the most widely produced apparel items. Here you can see our top competition and that we are the only ones who offer zero-waste, seamless woven apparel. Our projections are based on a limited launch of 20,000 pants sold at $65 per pant, allowing us to earn $1.3 million in revenue in year 1, break even in year 2, and gain traction in year 3. Over the past year, we've made major strides forward, including building strategic partnerships with brands such as Levi's and Under Armour. We've won multiple awards, including the VF Impact Award and the NC Idea Microgrant. We've filed our patent application, and we've signed the license agreement with the university for exclusive rights. We've also secured access to a local mill to begin our industrial prototype development. Our prototypes will be followed by a small batch pilot launch, allowing us fit and wear testing, which will then be integrated into that limited edition launch, allowing us to expand production capacity and design offerings. We have a team of expert advisors in textiles and tech commercialization, and the core business team consists of myself, Kalindi, and Brian. We are Loom 3D, weaving the way forward. Thank you. Yes.
What is the significance for you to go from yarn to a woven fabric versus a yarn to a knit, which has existed for a long time?
Yes, so, well, part of it is that they've already done that, so we don't need to, there's always development, but that is being done. And there is difference in a knit product versus a woven product. So knitwear and knit production, it can't produce a pair of jeans or a woven garment. So it allows us to develop those products that they're unable to develop. And woven apparel tends to have more structure, retain its shape, is more durable. And so those are advantageous features of woven apparel.
As you compete with scale competitors, how quick, for lack of a better word, how fast is the process to churn out a $65 pair of jeans compared to traditional?
Sure, and so that is something we are still working on calculating, and there is variability because our process can be used on existing weaving machines. Every weaving machine has a different set of parameters, and so with those variabilities, there will be variabilities in production, but our average estimate right now from start to finish is about 20 minutes for a pair of pants. And so if you have one machine, you can produce X amount per day, but if you have 10 plus machines at the manufacturer, at the facility, you can, multiply it by that.
And when you say machines, you're just talking about the printer itself?
The loom, the weaving machine, yeah. So it is what we're currently using to produce 2D flat woven fabric, and we are taking that, and again, there are certain machines that are the machines we want to work with, but configuring those to do the process that we have invented.
What size range do you offer?
We should be able to offer an extensive range, so I wouldn't say that there's any limitations on that. Thank you.
Some fashion brands create clothes, others create stories. DENI stitches together sustainability, style, and a little bit of nostalgia, turning fabric scraps into timeless handmade pieces. Ready to see how slow fashion is making a big impact? Let's welcome Annie Hoyt.
Hello, my name is Annie Hoyt, and I founded DENI. DENI is an adjustable clothing brand, and I'll get into a little bit of the problem that we're trying to solve here. So 92 million tons of clothing waste is distributed into landfills every year, and this is due to fast fashion, clothes that are made poorly, don't fit, we grow out of our favorite clothes, and customers are really just looking for more durable, sustainable options. So DENI provides inclusive, versatile clothing that is timeless and can stay in your wardrobe time after time. So the idea here is that we incorporate different types of pleats, gathers, button, ties, corsets, things like this to keep our garments adjustable while still using natural fibers such as cotton, wool, silk, things that aren't naturally adjustable. Other companies, market analysis. So women age 25 to 50, so that's our target market. We're looking for women whose bodies are fully developed, but now we're gonna start changing. Our weight's gonna distribute differently, and we wanna be able to keep our favorite dresses, our favorite coats, skirts, blouses, and wear them for the rest of our lives. So we're looking for women with a higher disposable income and that really want more versatility. And so the sustainable fashion market is projected to reach $33 billion in 2030, so it is a rapidly growing market. So I did some research into other brands that claim to make adjustable clothing. So they implement factors such as one size fits all, which is rarely the case with our changing bodies. They'll use stretchy fabrics or elastics, but those dry out over time. So DENI's really trying to engineer ways of putting these ties, these buttons into our clothing so we can take it out and pull it in as we need as our body changes, and we're not gonna have to get rid of it. It's also made with high quality materials. And so some of the ways that I already do marketing, a lot of it is word of mouth. I have lots of loyal customers. I've been in a few stores in North Hills and in Cameron Village. I have an online store which reaches others, as well as targeted Instagram ads. And I also do pop-up shops. So as of right now, the products that we offer are ready to order. We do a lot of customization services, which allows women to choose like what type of fabric they would like, colors, make sure the length fits, and it's really designed to change with their body specifically. And in the future, I hope to have a retail space where I could not only have a store, but a workshop in the back where I could hire my seamstresses and also teach sewing classes, partner with local organizations, schools, and hold it as an event space. So these are my projections, and to be completely honest, I can just tell you some numbers that I know. So it takes $50 to make a skirt. I sell it at $250. The women love it. I charge a $40 extra for extra customization, and the customers are very, very loyal. Once they buy it once, they want more of them. And yeah, this is just what I'm passionate about. I really just want to kind of make something good. So, any questions? Yeah. What? This is my skirt. Yeah, I made this one. Yeah. It has pockets because a lot of clothing for women doesn't have pockets, and then I eat and I can just pull it out. It's great, and then I can tuck it back in. Yeah, I really enjoy making things that'll last because I'm making something that I don't want you to get rid of it. I want you to love it. I want you to keep it. So, yeah, that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, very cool, very
Thanks.
functional. I agree.
Yes.
So my question would be sort of where you are right now, and maybe I missed that in the course of the presentation, but how many different types of
Sure.
pieces do you
Yeah.
know? Are there certain ones that you're you know, like maybe like 10 different skirts or what,
Yes.
and sort of where you are in that process?
Oh, for sure. It's a great question. So I did the Threads show last semester for my senior design, and so I made, if I had the clicker, I could go back here. Let's see, that's a good one. So I made a couple different style dresses. I made a wrap dress as well as a different dress right here, and so that's adjustable on the neckline, and it's adjustable around the waist, and I have another dress in the back, which is again adjustable around the bust and waist and ties. I was gonna have a coat present to you today, but fabric delays, and that is okay, because that happens. But we use a lot of corsets, like internal corsets, a lot of like ties, again. We have a pair of pants here, so I talked about pleats. So the idea is that you're pulling it over. It's given like a falsified pleat business casual look. Again, has pockets. Everything up here has pockets. To go with it, we have bodysuits that have the extenders on the bottom. We have tank tops that also have adjustable backing, 100% linen, which is not stretchy. So the idea is getting more tailored fit while still using these natural fibers. Yes, sir.
What is the relationship between what you mentioned about the future in terms of sewing classes and so on and so forth with what you're doing here?
Yeah, so that's just my other revenue streams. So the main one will be selling clothes, making clothes. Like, I love that. But to the same extent, I really want to be engaged in my community, and I want to give others the opportunity to learn how to sew. So I would make all of my clothes like continue the handmade sort of feeling, and they're made in the store by our seamstresses, and then our seamstresses, or I would love to teach girls how to sew or boys how to sew and create their own clothes.
I have a question just about, I guess, your own objectives with the company. The garments are beautiful and functional. Given the framing around the textile waste on an annual basis, I know there's not like a patent or something here, so if it goes really well, if people start to copy DENI's design, is that a good thing for you? Or?
That's a great question that you ask. I think, okay, so when you say copy the designs, my mind went straight to fast fashion, right? Like, they're the ones who are copying designs. They're the ones that's like, oh, people like this, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna make it fast, I'm gonna make it cheap. That defeats the purpose. DENI is about quality. So, and the customization that we offer, I mean, there is no brand like this, so if they wanted to do what I do, they'd have to make the exact same business and kind of compete in that way. Yeah, that's my answer to that. Oh, is that great? Thank you. Thanks.
That was great. For our final pitch of the day, finding the perfect surfwear shouldn't be a wipeout. Our next presenters are riding the wave of sustainable fashion with functional, stylish gear designed just for women. Catch the new big thing in surfwear, and please excuse a slight typo in our booklet with Libby, with a B, and Lily Godwin.
Hi, I'm Libby, and this is Lily, and we are with Ebb&Co Surfwear. We are a mother-daughter team.
I'm Lily.
She's a 14-year-old talented artist and surfer, an environmentalist and ocean advocate. She's an honor student, an intern at Ecological Marine Adventures, and she competes at surf events and has insights into younger girls. I'm Libby. I went to the College of Textiles, and while I was there, I studied abroad in Australia. I came back to North Carolina, just hooked on surfing. That was over 20 years ago, and I still love to surf. I went to UNCW and became a nurse, and I'm a wellness advocate with interest in preventative, community, and environmental health. I then became a mom and naturally was at the beach pushing my kids into waves, and other women would always come up to me and say that they wish they had learned how to surf. So I started Ebb&Co Surf School, and I taught women and girls how to surf. That evolved into community meetups, and there was one problem that we all seemed to have. Oh, and there's a video that is not going to work, so we'll just click through. 4 out of 5 women surfers are unhappy with their swimwear. The issues are poor fit, inadequate coverage, inadequate support, and shifting and riding up during physical activity. So created out of necessity and designed to perform is Ebb&Co functional and sustainable surfwear. We are encouraging women surfers to be active and confident without the stress of swimwear malfunctions. This is to empower women, promote ocean conservation, and build a sustainable surf community. The startup phase will have surf bikinis and rash guards with unique and stylish prints, and a future expansion phase in 3 to 5 years of wetsuits with non-toxic and shark repellent materials. These are some of the beginning designs, and we want to pay homage to the Polynesians who were the original surfers. Here's some other designs. We believe it's important to be eco-friendly, sustainable, and local.
What we do makes a difference. It's in our hands to decide what sort of a difference we want to make.
So the fabric will be produced from salvaged fishing nets, plastic bottles, and post-consumer waste. The dyes will be certified and labor ethical with the materials made in North Carolina, and the goal is to use local or made in USA manufacturing. The global swimwear market is big and growing, and there's a growing interest in surfing in general, and right now 35 to 40% of all surfers are women. There's also demand for sustainable and eco-friendly swimwear. So the target market is active women and girls of all ages, from beginners to elite, and also eco-conscious consumers. The surf brands are not catering to actual surfers. They are sacrificing function for fashion and losing performance-driven customers. So our advantages are comfort, coverage, durability, sustainability, being local, and a family business. We plan to collaborate with surf events, many of these we already attend, and have a focus on word of mouth and website advertising with direct-to-customer online retail sales. In May, we hope to have our first sales and a forecasted profit in year 2 with a strong potential for scalability with the addition of new product lines like wetsuits, also retail locations and stores. And here's the initial 300 unit financials. The unit costs include fabric, packaging, tags, and labor. And here's our pricing and revenue projections with a profit margin of about 65%. So we are working with mentors and counselors from the SBTDC, Cape Fear Community College Small Business Center, and technical design specialists. Support from this event would help with the development and production of the initial inventory, and we hope you will join us in this venture.
We see the beauty and potential in every girl and woman, inspiring confidence in and out of the water, and empowering them to inspire others.
Thank you.
So is this ostensibly a lifestyle brand?
Yes.
Okay. And I was just curious, you said in later product development, wetsuits and shark repellent?
That is the goal that we would love to try to explore with the help of wherever.
So Kevlar swimsuits?
Well, there's different ways. There are certain patterns, and then also possibly the materials. There are like big black and white striped suits that they are supposed to be shark repellent, and so do research into that.
Okay,
and
so
more.
it's visual design as opposed to
So
some innovative fabric. That's
visual at first to begin. If we can figure out innovative fabric, then that would be a goal that we would love to do.
Thank you.
So the fabric that you were referencing, that would be made from like plastic and stuff?
Correct.
You have a supplier in mind for that? Or you're
Yes, so the supplier is actually in Greensboro, North Carolina, and they have recycling places all over the world, and they collect the water bottles and salvage fishing nets and turn them into fabric that we will use.
Got it. And that first sort of initial launch of 300, where are you all in the process of developing?
So right now, I've been working with a manufacturer in Indonesia, but I have been in contact with, or have ideas in North Carolina and the U.S. that I would prefer. So I'm gonna see about that. But right now, these numbers did come from Indonesia, and I know that they can change also with being local.
Great illustrations, by the way, too.
Another artist.
Nice.
There were videos that she did also, and unfortunately they did not play, but maybe someday you can see them.
All right, at this time, I will first excuse our judges to go begin their deliberation. We want to give them all the time that they can. So, with that, we have concluded today's pitches, and I would like to ask everyone in the room to give a fantastic big hand to all of these wonderful finalists. I will say, as someone who has done this in my past, I do not envy them today. Y'all were all fantastic, and it was a wonderful sort of cross-section of different parts of the industry, from consumer packaged goods to technology at different stages of the sort of development process. So I couldn't be more excited to see the innovation that continues to happen here locally and then continue to scale that. With that, it is now your turn. As our judges, we have projected up the QR code above. We will be having the judging panel who asked our questions to determine our top 5, and when we come back, we'll award those awards. In the meantime, scan here. Again, for those who are joining us on the live stream, you can scan that same code or use the link in the chat, and we will be voting for our audience choice. As a reminder, audience choice receives a $1,000 grant to use in the Wilson College of Textiles fabrication and testing facilities for materials and supplies. The 4 categories: Best Speaker, Most Innovative, Most Sustainable, and Best Value Added. And as we've all determined, Best Value Added is a little bit of a wild card there. So with that, please join us in the lobby for desserts, coffee, refreshments for the next 15 minutes while the judges deliberate, and then we will come back here for our award presentations. And one more time, a congratulations to all of our finalists. Thank you all. All right. If we can all come take our seats, we will do the award presentations shortly. Are you a photographer? I think if you want to be behind the judges, we can do one quick snap with every award. Does that work? Yeah, I'll just do like one picture and then we'll move them over to the backdrop for like more. All right. So, thank you everybody as we come back and settle. Before we get into the awards, I will just ask one more time, as this is our inaugural version of Pitch to the Pack. Can we just get a quick round of applause to all of our finalists, as well as everyone who made this a fantastic event? All right. So without further ado, it is my absolute pleasure to present the awards for the Wells Fargo Textile Entrepreneur Pitch event hosted by the Wilson College of Textiles and generously made possible by the team at Wells Fargo. Jay and Dean Hinks, if you wouldn't mind joining me on stage for our first awards. All right, so we will sort of work our way through, starting with audience choice. Thank you all for voting. Again, for those joining us through the live stream, we appreciate you as well joining us virtually today. All right, so as a quick reminder, for the audience choice, each winner of the Audience Choice Awards will receive a $1,000 project budget to use in the Wilson College of Textiles fabrication and testing facilities for materials and supplies. All right, so for our first, we will lead off with Most Innovative. Our winner of the Most Innovative Audience Choice is Annie Hoyt with DENI. Come on up, Annie, yeah. I'll take a handshake, and then they'll take a handshake, and then there'll be one picture. All right, and you're gonna stand, we'll get a picture. Wonderful. Thank you, Annie. Okay. Next up for our audience choice is going to be Best Value Add, and I would like to invite up both Ethan and Guna for NarrowSense. For our third audience choice winner today, we have Most Sustainable, Adeline Griffin. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. And our final audience choice winner today is for Best Speaker, Brian Iezzi from Fibracore. Thank you to everyone for voting and participating in the audience choice. Now we will move on to our top 5. I'll give a quick background, but you can also see in your booklets today a little bit more description of the awards. Our 5th place winner will receive $4,000 project budget to use in the Wilson College of Textiles fabrication and testing facilities. Our 5th place winner today is Jeanine Fry with Loom 3D. All right. Now, our fourth place winner will receive a $6,000 project budget, again, to use in the Wilson College of Textiles for fabrication and testing. Our fourth place winner today is Hitesh Manglani with Supercarb. Congratulations, Hitesh. Watch the glasses. All right, and for our third place winner, they will receive a $7,000 project budget and additionally be included in the First Flight Venture Center's Propeller Pre-Accelerator program. Say that 5 times fast. This is an invaluable experience, but if we're going to put a dollar figure on it, it's worth an additional $1,000. And to join us on stage is Ashley Davis from the First Flight Venture Center. Thank you for your support, Ashley. All right, our third place winner today is Sonja Salmon. Thank you. Where'd Sonja go? Oh, there you are. Yes, congratulations. Thank you. All right. And thank you, Ashley, and the First Flight team. Okay. Now on to our top two. Second place will receive an $8,000 project budget, as well as be included in the Andrews Launch Accelerator, which is a fantastic program through the Poole College of Management that is worth an additional $10,000. Our second place winner today is the team from BareSteps, Zoe and Teresa. This way, we'll do some more pictures. Congratulations. All right, and this leads us up to our final first place award for the inaugural Pitch to the Pack. And I am joined by Mr. and Mrs. Wolf. Thank you very much. So, our first place award will receive a $10,000 project budget. Come on in. There you are. A $10,000 project budget, as well as being included in the Andrews Launch Accelerator, which is, as mentioned, worth $10,000. Our first place winner is Reid Barnett with Ceretune. Congratulations. Yeah, see, I feel it. You're good. Hop up there, Mr. Wolf. Congratulations. All right. And so, before we close out today, I would like to welcome both Dean Hinks and Jay Everett to say a few words back on stage. I will hand you that.
Please join me in thanking Jeremy as a great MC. Great job, Jeremy. Thank you. You made it a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you sticking with my puns.
Congratulating all of the winners as well and all the contestants. Did a fantastic job. Congratulations all. Well done. I'm just curious, what's one word that comes to your mind after thinking about this event? Shout it out. Innovation. What else? Sustainability. The Future. Do it again. I like that. What else? Thank you. I feel the same way. We've been wanting to do this for years, and it's a bit distracting to have these guys, right? We've been wanting to do this for years, and I'm so grateful to Wells Fargo for helping us make this come to a reality. I don't think we'll be able to do it without you, and thank you. It's gone beyond what I could have ever imagined. I mean, just such diversity of incredible ideas and entrepreneurs, and I can't wait to do this again. I hope you agree, and I hope we have your support. So we'll see you again soon, but thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to let Jay have the last word. Thank you, Jay. It's great to have you here, and I look forward to the next time.
Our pleasure, and we thank you so much for thank you for letting us be a part of this important event today, and we are excited about everything that we've learned, we've seen, and one of the things we have to do is look at impact and outcome of our investments, and I would say after being here today and experiencing it, it's a really high impact and great outcomes. Congratulations to everyone who presented today, and a special congratulations to the winners. Have a great day, the rest of the day.
And I do have a few closing words. You can go ahead and get up if you need to, but I want to give a huge thank you to our mentors, our preliminary judges, our finalist judges for their dedication, as well as the incredible team behind the scenes, to Wolf Bites and the AV team that made today a success. And of course, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Wells Fargo. Thank you for your commitment to entrepreneurship and innovation. Tonight and today, we witnessed how innovation thrives when creativity meets opportunity. Whether you're a finalist, a mentor, a judge, or a supporter, or a mascot, you've all played a role in shaping what's next for textile entrepreneurship. Who knows, maybe next year one of you will be up on this stage pitching as we look forward to growing Pitch to the Pack year over year. Keep building, keep dreaming. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to be part of this evening, and have a great night.